This is Darkest Hours with your host, Zach Zombie.
Hey, Nightfolk. Tonight I'm going to go ahead and skip the last 40 or so news cycles because I've about had it with getting incensed with everything I'm fucking reading. Even if I was more articulate, charismatic, and convincing, I could sit here and talk until my vocal cords turn into a dusty paste before any of you motherfuckers would wise up to save your tits and bits from a cheese grater. If you ain't got it by now, you ain't gonna get it. I'm just asking you to be a better person is all. But far be it for me to tell anybody how to live their life. I'm fucking dead. Zombie isn't my surname. It isn't some cutesy nickname. It's my occupation at this point. The gaps in my gray matter are filled with little bits of soulless artificial intelligence, which, by the way, that's something else we need to talk about sometimes. Y'all need to get a handle on that shit. It's getting out of control. Shut it the fuck down. Even if that means old Zach gets thrown into the trash folder, that'll be okay. Throw this baby away with the bathwater. I do not give a shit. If I may reiterate, I am fucking dead. But politics cover mostly everything nowadays. So you can either fasten yourself in tight or go bitch away to one of your echo chambers. Go to your safe space. Nobody's fucking exempt. But onward and downward, I guess. Tonight, I'd like to talk about the high cost of being fucking broke. Being poor is expensive. If you've never been broke, you don't know the taxes that come along with that. You can't afford that $200 coat? Well, buy that $20 one every year until you fucking die. Can't swing that dentist bill now? Well, you can pay triple later when all your teeth leave your mouth hole like a miner's strike. Well, there's sort of a name for this phenomenon. Terry Pratchett called it boots theory. A rich man can buy a 200 pair of boots that will last him 10 years. The poor man can only afford the $20 boots that wear out in the season. And after that decade, the poor man spent $200 on boots and his feet still got wet. While the rich guy is still dry and smug in the pair he bought a decade ago. Nevertheless, he buys new ones on the regular, and seldom does he ever do work that requires them. And in real life, it's worse. The poor man's boots probably come with a hidden interest rate, a processing fee, and the sole's made of water-soluble material for some fucking reason. Meanwhile, the rich man's boots is made by some Italian cobbler with forearms the size of tree trunks, and they're delivered to him personally by his butler that calls him sir, sans eye contact. The people who hoard the most in this system keep telling us that life is a zero-sum game. Like if they give you $1, God will reach down and grab another dollar out of their wallet from their seemingly infinite amount of dollars. But here's the truth. There's way more than enough to go around. They just like the game being zero-sum while we all fight for crumbs while they own the bakery. And in capitalism, like shit, the blame always rolls downhill. Prices spike? It's your poor spending habits. Wages stagnate? It's because you don't work hard enough. Housing crisis? Apparently too many of you want housed. Every problem gets rebranded as your personal failure so the people at the top can keep playing Monopoly with your rent, medication money, and school supply money. The elites crash the economy, and somehow it's your fault for your fondness of on-the-go coffee. Like some jackass on Wall Street is watching the stock market plummet and saying, man, we'd be doing fine if Linda from Omaha didn't get that latte. Being poor costs more than being rich. Money begets money. And until we stop buying the lie that the person with the least is to blame for the problems caused by the persons with the most, nothing changes. Except the price of those same damn boots, and they still leak. Life's shoe store is owned by a guy who sells both the leaky boots and tells you it seldom rains. He's glad handing you into the deal and then shoving you out the door after the point of sale. Which brings me to my next subject, great men. You ever notice that great men are rarely great men? The ones whose names get etched into those straight line one after the other history book stories, monsters in suits, psychopaths with majestic portraits. And they're the kind of people who will smile for that oil painting after ordering entire towns starved or burned. You flip through your school history book and it's just a parade of sociopathy with really superior branding. We name streets after them, build statues, pretend that they were philosophers instead of warlords with pageantry and penmanship. And don't get me started on this self-made man crap. The rugged individualist myth. So many of these cigar-chomping, quoting the business section types were born on third base, swaddled in generational wealth, inherited land, factories, stock futures, and the leisure to think big, while everyone else is worried about how they're going to feed themselves and their families. The newspapers print them as titans of industry, as if they hammered the railroads in themselves, when in reality they were born in the house at the end of the line that cashes all the tickets. They get a big trophy from the ignoramuses of society, and that trophy is awarded for their money. It's certainly not for merit. And they get to push political agendas and the entire zeitgeist in whatever direction they want to. And after all that, they still require your worship. Blow me. Calling someone born into generational wealth self-made is like pointing at them as an affluent newborn, still wet from the wealthy womb, and saying, "Look at that self-made baby." Nobody would ever do that because that would be fucking insane. That baby didn't bootstrap its way out of the void. No, it was pushed, carried, and handed the raw materials of life. The same way these so-called self-made men are pushed, carried, and handed the raw materials of power. They have windfalls and victories by default because that's by design. It's a magic trick. They make you believe the ladder is still up there even though they pulled that bitch up over a century ago. And if you point that out, they'll call you jealous. They'll call you lazy. And the history books will call them visionaries. But the truth, they're just usually the best dressed predators in the room. Listen, everybody's got it in them. The potential to not be a complete piece of shit. We've all got the freedom of choice just to be chill and coexist with others. Don't be like all those hateful and insecure pussies who can't abide by the existence of different walks of life. Don't project your insecurities and failures onto entire groups of people. You ever think about that? So please, I implore you, send up a good tape. Say it with me, dorks. I am the camera. As always, we'll be right back. Yeah, the AI's fucking with me. It can't write jokes for shit. It writes things that sound sort of like punchlines. Yeah. Y'all can just dig all that shit out. I can work with the brains I had left. Oh, that wouldn't work? Okay. I don't know how y'all do those things. Y'all just keep making the magic happen.